Hello everybody, my name is Courtney DeSuke. I am 29 years old and I am from Ontario, Canada, and I am doing a series about ketamine treatment. So this is my third update about my second treatment. Again, a little backstory for those who may not know what the series is about. But I used to be a nurse working in mental health. I actually was a first responder to a traumatic fire which occurred in a death, and it honestly messed me up. I've been off work for a few years now. I've been doing therapy. I've been taking, all of the meds, but nothing really seemed to be helping me. I was diagnosed with the treatment-resistant depression. So my doctor referred me to a ketamine therapy treatment program, which is known to help with depression and PTSD. So, I've talked about my symptoms. I've talked about all of those things in past videos. So today I really just wanted to give you guys an update from last week and kind of what happened during my second infusion, how I felt, and currently how I'm feeling. So I was really nervous the night before my second ketamine treatment, which was on February 1st. I actually am not allowed to take my lorazepam 12 hours before the treatment. So I literally did not sleep that whole night before. So I was up for like 24 hours. I was exhausted. It was so weird because I was so tired, but I just could not sleep. So I woke up, I was a little nervous about everything. I journaled the night before to try to get out all of my feelings. But anyways, we ended up going for treatment, which was on my fiance's birthday, which is kind of crazy. And I got there and I was told the week before that I was to go wait in this little waiting room area, as there's only a couple nurses doing the ketamine treatment. So they can't really leave the area to come out to the waiting room to get us. So they said, come to this little area, which is like a pre-waiting room. And again, this hospital, guys, this is the hospital I actually worked at. So I'm very familiar with the layout. I'm familiar with everything. But it's very overwhelming and consuming and agitating that I have to get treatment there, as it's literally the cause of some of my biggest trauma. So anyways, I was waiting in the waiting room where I was supposed to wait, as the one nurse told me. And another nurse came out and said, well, you're not supposed to be waiting here. You're supposed to wait in the other waiting room. And I was like, no, I was told, to come in here this week just for easier access. And anyways, as soon as I was told I did something wrong, I had this impending feeling of doom and I was in trouble, I was the bad one. And it's a nurse who I know also. So I just felt like I was in trouble and I wasn't waiting in the right spot. And I just felt very anxious and consumed with intrusive thoughts of it's already hard enough to be there, and then you're telling me I'm not supposed to be in this part, and it was just very overwhelming for me, and it was very spiraling. So the other nurse came out who actually told me to wait in that area, and she said, Courtney, no, that's what I told you to do. That is correct. The other nurses just weren't aware that I was doing this, I guess. So, it made me feel a little better, but once you start to get in that anxious spiral, it's really hard to overcome. So I was just a mess. I felt thinking about it, my heart's just racing and it's tight. So there was some miscommunication there, and it was a little frustrating and overwhelming for me. But I went in and got set up. This time it went much, much quicker because this was my second infusion. So I had my IV placed in my hand this week. It actually went very well. The infusion itself, obviously the infusions go well. It's not like it beeped. It's not like it got stuck or anything like that. But I wasn't very peaceful or restful this time compared to the first time I did it. The first time of the ketamine infusion, it was very relaxing. I could focus on the music. It was very positive thoughts. The second week was kind of the opposite, and it sucked. Honestly, it sucked because I was like, oh, it's going to be that great feeling again. I can feel that peace, that relaxation for a little bit. But it was heavy. It was overwhelming. And my brain, not that it took me to bad places, but it took me to thoughts that I didn't really want to think about. Obviously, your brain thinks about what it's going to think about, in those moments. That's just the way it works. But I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about it. So I had my music in, again, Swiftie here. So I was listening to Taylor Swift, and I was trying to jam to the music, and I just was not feeling it. I was not feeling the vibe. I just wasn't feeling it. And then I remember, like, so the ketamine started, and I remember, like, oh, I'm starting to feel a little relaxed, but I was still pretty tense. And then I heard one of the staff's voiceras go off. And if you don't know what a voicera is, if you're a hospital or staff worker, you might. But what it is essentially is this little tiny device that you hang on your scrubs. And essentially anyone can call or contact you, staffing, other people on the unit, whatever. So I remember hearing the doo-doo-doo, you have a call from staffing. And for me, guys, you gotta remember, this is where my trauma happened. These sounds, these alarms, the voiceras, they're very activating and very triggering for me. So when I heard that while I was getting my ketamine, like, I'm supposed to relax, but in my head, I'm like, oh my God, am I at work? Like, why am I hearing this? And then I heard staffing, which makes me anxious. It was just a very overwhelming feeling, and I'm getting anxious talking about it, but it was just overwhelming. It was consuming. I mean, there was nothing that can be done about it, obviously, but it's just frustrating when I have to be in that place, and that place is the place that messed me up. But that's the only place I can get the treatment. So that was very, like, it was just triggering is the right word. And then I started thinking, it kind of ruined my vibe, because all I could think about was, like, well, what am I supposed to do for work in the future? Like, what am I going to do? Like, should I go back to school? Do I need a job? Because honestly, I want to work for myself. I want to be my own boss. I want to be an entrepreneur. But in my head, I'm like, I'm never going to be enough. Like, if I'm not nursing, then I'm a nobody. Oh my God, well, what if I have to go back to nursing and I have to come back here to this place and deal, with my patients who were very aggressive and violent, and, like, it just caused this sense of heaviness and doom and gloominess, and it just felt like it wasn't a positive experience, and I didn't feel very hopeful of a good future. So those were the thoughts that I found I was getting stuck on. Again, I was thinking about jobs and the fear of the unknown, and oh my gosh, what am I supposed to do? Like, after this treatment, are they just gonna be like, try to send me back, even though I need to learn to take care of myself first? It was just a very overwhelming experience. I could not focus. I tried deep breathing. I tried listening, like, going to the music, like, because I know all the words to the songs. It just wasn't a peaceful experience. And then, yes, I felt, like, kind of relaxed, like, my muscles felt relaxed, because obviously they're infusing a sedative into my body. So of course I'm going to feel relaxed and a little numb. But then I also found it was just, my sound was so hyper-focused. The auditory sound was incredibly hyper-focused, and, like, they kind of stagger people, because there's a few people getting their infusion. So there's one person who's there earlier and they leave first, right? And, like, I didn't really hear them leave per se, but I heard the nurse, stripping the bed of all of the linens and, like, rubbing it down and rubbing the blood pressure cuff. And the thing is, like, in this environment, it's supposed to be incredibly quiet. Like, if we need to communicate, it's a whisper. Like, it's that quiet, because it's supposed to be zen. It's supposed to be relaxed. I heard her moving, like, the chair on the floor, not lifting it, like, moving it on the floor. And I heard, carrying it over and throwing it into the hamper. Like, I heard everything. I was very hyper aware of it. And I think it was because, I was thinking about work. I heard the voicera. It was just so triggering, because during my trauma, I used that voicera to try to get help when that fire was occurring, and the voicera was not set up for that yet. So hearing that voicera was very frustrating and heartbreaking, and brought on just bad feelings and memories. So, I mean, obviously the infusion went well. Like, nothing went wrong in that sense. It was just my thoughts, the way my brain was working. And it just wasn't restful or peaceful. So, that was my second infusion experience. I obviously came to and went home. Obviously, I had not slept for 24 hours, so I thought I would maybe be able to sleep. That was a hard no. Hard no, did not nap, did not sleep, was up, like, literally all day until midnight that night. It was crazy. But I mean, I'm trying to think. That day afterwards, I mean, I felt energized, but I did have like my natural, plant-based nootropics and drinks and stuff to obviously keep me functioning through the day and a little awake. So afterwards, now I'm going in for my infusion on this Tuesday, what's the 8th? I'm going in for my next infusion. And how do I feel? I guess I've been kind of emotional, I guess. I've been crying on and off about things. I feel like I always have this sense of like people hate me. So I've been feeling kind of like that. I've been feeling incredibly lonely. I mean, PTSD has made such an impact on my life, on my social life. I used to have a lot of friends. I used to see my family a lot. I used to be able to leave my house without concern. And I've just been really feeling the loneliness, the lack of friendships, or the lack of communication or understanding. That's been really bothering me a lot this week. Otherwise, I'm trying to think, like, I've had nightmares. I had a really bad nightmare this week. Actually, I've had a couple really bad nightmares this week. I'm trying to think what else. I mean, obviously I've had days where I've still felt anxious. Like today's one of those days right now. I'm feeling very anxious, intrusive thoughts. I guess maybe I might have be able to focus a little bit, but again, that could be because of my vitamins. But really, after the second infusion, there hasn't been an immense change. They did say it could be, 2 to 4 infusions before you start to really notice a difference. But for me, I haven't really noticed anything yet. So continue to follow my journey. We are going into infusion 3 this week. Again, I'm kind of journaling every week as I go as well. But keep your fingers crossed. I am hoping this is going to be effective. I also had, it's like online CBT, which is part of a clinical study going along with the ketamine. So I did my second week of the CBT. Again, that's very overwhelming and triggering because you have to think about the trauma and the process and all of that jazz. So those days are a little overwhelming sometimes, but I mean, we're going to continue on and hopefully we will have a more positive experience next week. What I'm going to do next week for sure is have both headphones in. I don't want to hear the auditory of the outside of the hospital because that was too much for me. So I think I'm going to keep my playlist the same. I'm going to order the songs how I feel like I can ease into it and relax a little more. But that's kind of all I've got. I mean, everything did go well. It was just kind of me overthinking and being afraid of the future and being afraid of what I'm supposed to do with my life. And, it was just a little triggering. But I believe that hopefully next week will go better and maybe we'll start to feel a little bit more results. Anyways, guys, thank you for coming along for this journey. Again, my name is Courtney Desuk. We are doing ketamine infusion treatments for my depression and PTSD. And follow along because hopefully this is going to just keep getting better and better. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I love you and appreciate you, and I hope you have a great day.